In this short video, you're going to learn how to do simple data binding with Ignite UI for Blazor. Ignite UI for Blazor comes with over 40 UI controls and components and over 50 chart types. Anything you need to create your typical line of business application is in Ignite UI for Blazor. Let's get started with some simple data binding with Ignite UI for Blazor. With Visual Studio 2022 open, go ahead and click Create New Project. We're going to create a Blazor WebAssembly app. If it's not in your recent project and templates, you can just search for WebAssembly app here and make sure it's a C# Blazor WebAssembly app. I'll click Next. I'm just going to take all the defaults, default name, and we'll create the project. The first thing that we want to do is light up our project with the Ignite UI Blazor components. We do that through a NuGet package. So we can right-click on the project, go to Manage NuGet Packages. We'll go to Browse. And what we're doing here is we're browsing NuGet.org. I'm going to type in Ignite UI Blazor. And we see that our Blazor package is here. 21.2.73 is the latest, so we'll click Install. And now my application has the Blazor controls available to it. So let's make sure that we can use these within the project. We'll use the global using statement. So we're going to say using, and everything here should be in your autocomplete, so you don't really have to think about what's going on here. We want to use the Ignite UI Blazor controls. And then in the program.cs, we want to tell the application to now use those components. So we're going to use that with the builder.services. So we'll say builder.services.add Ignite UI for Blazor. And that's all we need to do. So at this point, I can use any of the Blazor controls. Now, one other step in a Blazor WebAssembly application is if you want to use the Infragistics Blazor Bootstrap CSS, I have a shortcut here to add it to my application, but you can go ahead and tell it to use the light Bootstrap theme. By default, it's using its own default Bootstrap CSS, so it's really up to you which Bootstrap CSS you want to use. It doesn't matter. You can use this one or the Ignite UI one, which is a light Bootstrap theme. We have different variants for themes. We have Fluent, Bootstrap, Material, and Indigo, which is our own theme. So in this case, if I highlight this guy, I'll just comment him out, and I'm going to use this theme that we ship with Ignite UI. Next, let's go to Pages. I'm going to go to index.razor. In index.razor, I'm going to delete some of the Bootstrap text that we have. Let's go ahead and change the page title to Ignite UI Blazor. And I'm going to add two controls to this. First, I'm going to type in IGB. IGB is the prefix for all of the Infragistics Blazor components. So the first one that I want to add is the IGB data grid. So now I have the IGB data grid, and I'm going to also add to this page the IGB category chart. So let's just type in IGB category, and you'll see that category chart comes in the list. Everything is in the autocomplete, so it makes it super simple to get started with the product. So next, let's set the height and width of these guys. So I'm just going to say the height is going to equal, let's say, 500 pixels, and the width equals 1300. I have a wide screen, and I'm going to copy this for both the chart and the grid. Now the next property that we want to set is the data source property. So the data source property is going to be the same syntax on both the grid and the chart. So I'm going to say the data source equals, and this is where we can do binding directly right off of the control. We have a function called remote JSON. Now remote JSON will allow me to pass a URI to the control with URI, and that will bind directly to the component. So I'm going to copy this for both of the controls. Actually, let me get everything here. Like so. Now what we need is a JSON URL to bind to. I happen to have a couple URLs here. First is the customers from Northwind living off of xl2json.io. To learn how to use xl2json.io, check the link in the description because it's a great tool that allows you to take any Excel file, convert it to JSON, and then use it as a live remote data source. And then I also happen to have some chart data here, which is inventory by category. So I'm going to grab this URL. I'm going to copy this, and we're going to paste it right in here for my customers' data. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my category chart data. I'm going to copy this and paste it directly in here. And that's all I need to do. Let's go ahead and click Run. And you'll see that the page is loading. I have my data in the grid. Then if I scroll down, I also have the data in my chart. So just like that, with a few lines of code, I have bound data to a data grid and a data chart with Ignite UI Blazor. The nice thing is the grid by default has a bunch of useful interactive features that you can start using without writing any code. So for example, let's say I want to group by the city column. So now you can see here, I've got expand and collapse on different groups based on the city. I can do things like hide or show columns, sort columns, move columns left and right, even pin columns left and right, or select and deselect data with the Excel style filter. So getting started with the data grid is super simple. You have a bunch of interactive capabilities that go along with it for free. And then data binding is as simple as using the data source property with the remote JSON with URI function and point it directly at your remote data. This can be a JSON file, any web API, it doesn't matter. The idea is to get started on your journey with Blazor and data with Ignite UI is only a few simple steps. To learn more about Infragistics and all of our UI controls, go to infragistics.com. To learn more about our Blazor controls, go to infragistics.com/products/Ignite UI Blazor. Also, while you're there, check out our one-of-a-kind app builder product, which is a web-based WYSIWYG which allows you to build Blazor applications in minutes versus days, weeks, and even months. To get more videos like this, click the subscribe button and read all of the notes for everything that I mentioned in this video today.